Good morning, dear students of class 3. Today we are going to study a new lesson number 7, page 28 from your English, grammar and composition. Okay, so turn to page 28. And what is the name of our lesson? Adjectives, isn't it? Yes. What do you mean by adjectives? We had already studied this in your previous classes, isn't it? Adjectives are describing words. They are used to describe a person, place, animal, or a thing, isn't it? Okay. So first, let us read it. Lesson number 7, adjectives. Study the following. Okay. So in this there is a picture of a man, isn't it? The first picture, an old man, isn't it? An old man. And the second one, there is a picture of a lady. There is a picture of a girl, a thin girl. Picture of a man, a fat man. Picture of a woman, a young woman. And lastly, there is a picture of a tree, a tall tree. Okay, so let's read it. There are an old man, a thin girl, a fat man, a young woman, and a tall tree. What kind of a man? Now, what kind of a man is he? An old man, isn't it? An old man. See, old is written in red, isn't it? It is written in red color. What kind of a man is he? An old man. The word old describes the man. Now, do you understand? The word old describes the man, isn't it? What kind of a man is he? He is an old man. So, old here, old will be the describing word, and describing word are called, what are they called? Adjectives, isn't it? Very good. The word old describes the man. Now, let's see the second one. What kind of girl? What kind of a girl is she? A thin girl, isn't it? The word thin describes the girl. So thin is the describing word and hence it is the adjective, isn't it? What kind of a girl is she? A thin girl. So also the words fat, young, and tall describes the nouns that follow them. So what are nouns? Nouns are naming words, isn't it? Nouns are naming words. We had already studied them in the previous classes. For example, man, girl, man, woman, tree. All these are naming words and they are called nouns, isn't it? So, adjectives describes the nouns that follow them. The words old, thin, fat, young, and tall are adjectives. Okay, so what do you mean by adjectives? Adjectives are the words which describes the nouns. Okay, which describes the naming words. Alright, an adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. Okay, we can put an adjective a before a noun. Now, let's read the sentence. An old man is crossing the street. Okay, an old man is crossing the street. Where can we put an adjective before a noun? Now, what is the noun in this sentence? Man is the noun in this sentence, isn't it? Man is the naming word and it is the noun in this sentence. And we can put an adjective before a noun, before. So the word old is an adjective, isn't it? The word old is an adjective and we will put it before the noun, before man, isn't it? Yes. She is a clever girl. Now, tell me what is the noun in this sentence. What is the noun? Girl is the noun, isn't it? Girl is the noun. And where will we put the adjective? Before the noun. And what is the adjective? Clever. Yes, very good. She is a clever girl. Clever is the adjective. We put it before the noun girl, isn't it? Yes, and clever describes what kind of a girl she is. Very good. He has bought a new bike. Now, can you tell me what is the noun in this sentence? Bike is the noun, isn't it? Bike is the noun. Very good. And what is the adjective? What is the describing word? New. New is the adjective. And we put it before the noun bike, isn't it? What kind of a bike is it? It is a new bike. New describes what kind of a bike. So new will be the adjective and we put it before the noun bike, isn't it? Very good. After the verb be is equal to am or is or are, was or were, the man is old. Okay. The adjective describes the noun man. Okay. So the adjective, what is the adjective here? The adjective is old, isn't it? Old. The adjective describes the noun man. The man is old. Okay. Now, if we put it after the verb, okay, we can also put the adjective after the verb. Okay. After the verb, verb can be am or is or are, was or were, isn't it? Yes. So, the man is old. So, what kind of a man? The man is old. What is the verb here? Is, isn't it? Is. The man is old. So, we can even put the adjective after the verb, which is am, is, are, was or were. And in this case, it is, isn't it? Is the verb. So, old is the adjective. The man is old. We are hungry. Now, where is the verb here? Are is the verb, isn't it? We are hungry. Are is the verb. And we put it after the verb hungry. Hungry is, again, adjective because it is a describing word, isn't it? The adjective describes the pronoun we. We are hungry. She was angry with me. Now, angry is the adjective. It is the describing word, isn't it? And we put it after the pronoun was, isn't it? We put it after the verb. Verb is also a pronoun, isn't it? We put it after the verb. After was, she was angry with me. Now, do you understand? Okay, now let's see the third one. After verbs such as feel, seem, look is equal to seem and become. Okay, now let's see. He felt happy at the news. The adjective describes the pronoun he. Okay, now in this sentence, the pronoun is he, isn't it? He. After verbs such as feel, seem, or look, okay, it becomes he felt happy at the news. Now, happy is the adjective here, isn't it? It is the describing word. So, happy, the adjective, describes how this person, how he is feeling, isn't it? How he is feeling. It describes how he is feeling. He felt happy at the news. The adjective describes the pronoun he. He is the pronoun and happy describes how he is feeling, isn't it? The girl seems sad. The adjective describes the noun girl. The girl seems sad. In this sentence, girl is the noun and sad describes what the sad describes the girl, isn't it? The girl seems sad. Sad is the adjective, so it describes the girl. The girl seems sad. The adjective describes the noun girl. Girl is the noun and sad is the adjective. So sad describes the adjective describes the noun girl, isn't it? He looks funny in these clothes. Now, funny is the adjective and it describes, what does it describe? It describes the pronoun he, isn't it? He looks funny in these clothes. Funny describes he. It describes he. So, he looks funny in these clothes. They became rich. They became rich. Now, rich is the adjective and it describes, what does it describe? It describes the pronoun they, isn't it? They. They became rich. Okay. Now, do you understand adjectives? Okay. Adjectives are describing words, isn't it? Underline the adjectives in the following sentences. Now, we are going to underline the adjectives in these sentences. The first one, a camel has a long neck. Okay. A camel has a long neck. All right. Now, can you tell me what is the adjective? First, can you tell me what is the noun in this sentence? The noun is camel, isn't it? Camel is the noun. So, what word describes the camel? A camel has a long neck. Now, what will be the describing word? What will be the adjective? Long. Long will be the adjective. It describes what kind of a neck the camel is having, isn't it? So, long is the describing word and hence it is the adjective. Now, the second one, America is a rich country. What kind of a country is America? It is a rich country. Rich will be the adjective in this sentence because rich describes what kind of a country America is. Now, do you understand? Similarly, you have to do all the other exercises. Okay, we have number 1 to 17. Okay, let's just look. We have number 1 to 20. All right. So I want all of you to underline the adjectives in these sentences. Mr. Singh bought a new car. What kind of a car does Mr. Singh bought? You have to point out the adjective. You have to underline it. Akbar was a great king. What kind of a king was Akbar? Now again, you have to underline the adjective. The words which describes. Okay. So these are adjectives. Adjectives, like we have said, they are words which describes a noun or a pronoun. Isn't it? Very good. Okay, now turn to page 30. In page number 30, we have exercise 2. Okay. And I want you to make some correction. First of all, let's see. Below is a list of adjectives. Pair of the opposites as shown. Okay. So in this box, in this blue box, we have different words, isn't it? For example, thin, short, cheap, fat, weak, old, sad, isn't it? Now, can you see dear? Okay, now just cross out dear and make it expensive. Okay, write expensive instead of dear. What is the spelling of expensive? E-X-P-E-N-S-I-V-E, expensive. Okay, cross out dear and write expensive. All right. Okay, very good. And then we have long, strong, young, and happy. Okay. So you have to, these are all adjectives because thin is an adjective. It is a describing word, isn't it? Short is an adjective. Again, it is a describing word. Cheap, fat, weak, old. All the words in the blue box are describing words. They are called adjectives, isn't it? Now, what do we have to do? Pair off the opposites as shown. We have to pair them, all right? The first one is thin, okay? The first one is thin. Thin. Thin is written here in the yellow box, isn't it? Now, what is the opposite of thin? You have to find out the opposite of thin. The opposite of thin is fat. Fat. Can you see? Yes. You will write it here in the yellow box. Now, the second one, short. You will write short over here. S-H-O-R-T. Short. Short. Now, short. Okay, short is the second one. Now, you will write it in the yellow box. What is the opposite of short? Can you tell me? Is cheap the opposite of short? No. Is fat the opposite of short? No. Fat is already written here. Is weak the opposite of short? Now, you have to search it over here. Okay. You have to search it. What will be the opposite of short? The opposite of short is long, isn't it? Long. L-O-N-G. Long. Now, do you understand? Yes, it is very easy, isn't it? Now, the third one, cheap. What is the opposite of cheap? C-H-E-A-P. Cheap. What is the opposite of cheap? Now, I want you to search it from the blue box and you do it. Okay. Alright. So now you know how to fill it. You know how to write the opposites. Okay. Now look at exercise B. Now look at these pictures and fill in the blank spaces with the above adjectives. Okay. Now we have some pictures over here. And you have to fill in the blanks with the above adjectives. Alright. This pen is dash, but that one is dash. Okay. How much is this pen? It is 8 rupees. How much is this pen? It is 90 rupees. Isn't it? This pen is, what will you write? This pen is cheap. This pen is cheap. This pen is cheap. But that one is dash. Now the opposite of cheap, you will write it here. Did you find the opposite of cheap? What is the opposite of cheap? You will write it here. Now, do you understand? Yes. Similarly, you will do the other exercises. This pencil is dash, but that one is dash. Now, you will find a suitable adjective to fill in the blanks. Okay. Now, we have, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have 6 exercises, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Isn't it? 6. Okay. So, you will do exercise B as how you have done exercise A, like how you had done in the yellow boxes. Okay. So, you have to fill up exercise B from the yellow box that you had done. Alright. Now, do you understand? You will look at these pictures. You will see their expressions. Okay. And you will fill in these blanks like the one you had done in the yellow box. You have to fill up exercise B from exercise A, the yellow boxes. Okay. Now, do you understand? Yes, it's very easy. I want you to do it very carefully and properly. Do not be in a hurry. All right. That's all for today. Okay. Bye-bye, children.